everyone, my name is Leanne and today I'm going to be talking to you about what I'm planning to read over the winter break. So I have 9 books to talk to you about today, which is quite ambitious, particularly when you consider the pace or lack of pace I've been reading at this year. But I do have some children's books, some specifically Christmassy children's books. I have a bit of poetry, I have some romances, so they're all things that I can read pretty quickly. So I think it's possible that I will read all of these books over my winter break from work, and I do have a lot of kind of travel time in there as well. So I am going back to Dublin on Christmas Eve, and then I am flying back to the UK a few days later to spend some time with my boyfriend's family. So I have a fair bit of travel time coming up. I also have my flat to myself, so I'm gonna have some like cozy reading time on the sofa, light some candles, have a hot chocolate, you know, that kind of cozy vibe. So I'm gonna start by telling you about the romances that I want to read. They all have a kind of wintry, festive, cold vibe to them. Every year I also specifically choose a festive adjacent romance to be reading on my way to the airport, in the airport, on my flight, etc. When I'm traveling back to Dublin. And the book I have chosen to fulfill that tradition is Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochrane. So this book begins with a meet cute in a bookshop between 2 women. We love a meet cute, we love a bookshop, we love a queer romance. Ellie feels like she fell in love with this other woman over the course of one night on Christmas Eve. But the next morning she feels betrayed, and then she soon also loses her job. It feels like things are like kind of spiraling out of control for Ellie. She then finds work in a local coffee shop, and one drunken night the landlord of this coffee shop makes quite literally a proposal to Ellie. He proposes a marriage of convenience. So it's going to alleviate some of her financial worries, and it's also going to enable him to get an inheritance that he wasn't able to get unless he was married. In order to keep up this ruse, they decide to spend the holidays together, to go to his family cabin. And when he introduces Ellie to his sister, Ellie realizes it is the girl from Christmas Eve a year ago. I love that. I love just like awkward family setups at Christmas. I find that really entertaining. I love a fomance. I love a marriage of convenience. I just think I love it. It's so messy. And then to add like another romantic situation into that, love, love, love. I think I'm really gonna like this one. I'd also like to read Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I feel like I'm the only person left that hasn't read this enemies to lovers, forced proximity, TikTok sensation romance. I think most people know the setup of this book. There is a figure skating team and an ice hockey team that are forced to share a rink. Our 2 main characters cannot stand each other, but they also really fancy each other, and smut ensues. I have a couple of younger romances as well, some YA romances. The first of those is Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. I also have the gorgeous Illumicrate / Afterlight special edition. So this one I don't think is like particularly Christmas or festive themed, but like these trees look like Christmas trees. They are in big jackets, which makes me feel like the cold. It's based around a survival course in the woods, and it follows former best friends as our lead characters. As I said, they used to be best friends, but since they have kind of drifted apart, and big academic rivalry has set in between the pair. But over the course of this survival trip, they are forced to work as a team. They are, you know, again, that theme of like forced proximity, and they start to remember all of the good things about their friendship, and if it could be more than a friendship. I think this one will be super cute. I feel like it's one that I'll read really quickly as well. Only for the Holidays by Abiola Bello. You may remember this author from Love and Winter Wonderland, which was another festive romance that was set in a Black-owned bookshop. I adored that book. It gave me all of the like gooey feelings inside. I describe Abiola's books as like a hot chocolate in a book. It's just so cozy, so warm. They just have like Netflix Christmas rom-coms written all over them. That's how I described Love and Winter Wonderland, and I think Only for the Holidays it's going to be even more so. This also has a romance, a fake dating situation. Can you tell what some of my favorite tropes are? It also has an enemies to lovers element to it as well. Oh, and it also has one of my other absolute favorite tropes, which is like city girl goes to the countryside for the holidays. So this one is about Tia and Quincy, and they are quite different. So Tia is your typical kind of city girl. She really doesn't want to spend the holidays in the countryside, but that is what her family have decided. She also feels like she really needs to be in the city to try and patch things up with her sort of boyfriend. They're like on a break. So she really doesn't want to be in the countryside, which is where country boy Quincy lives. He and his family run a local farm, and this year they have been chosen to host the Winter Ball, which is a really big deal in this town, and this is also the first time a Black family has ever been chosen to run this major event. So it feels like a lot of pressure is on the family's shoulders. It's also expected that you bring a date to the Winter Ball, and Quincy ends up lying about having a date. So when Tia arrives at the farm, he ropes her in to be his fake date. I think this is going to be so lovely. I feel like I will just sit down with this one in one evening and fly through it. I also have some poetry. So I have And So This Is Christmas, 51 Seasonally Adjusted Poems by Brian Bilston. So this one was sent to me by Book Break, so thank you very much for sending this one my way. I'm so excited to cozy up with this, probably on Christmas Day itself, because it is so slim. Of course, it's poetry, and it's very kind of accessible, funny poetry. If you've read any Brian Bilston before, I think you kind of know what you're going to be getting with this one. I think Brian Bilston's poetry is just like really kind of playful. It's not overly serious a lot of the time. If it does touch on kind of a serious topic, it does it in kind of a humorous way. Brian Bilston has been affectionately called the Poet Laureate of Twitter, so that's kind of gives you a sense of what kind of vibe we're going with his poetry. And yeah, I think I'm really going to enjoy this one. I also have 3 children's Christmas books from Ben Miller. So I'm going to read Diary of a Christmas Elf, Secrets of a Christmas Elf, and Adventures of a Christmas Elf. I will also read these like super quickly. I will read these like probably all in one go if I get the chance to probably sit down with all of them. But because they're also told in diary entry form, I think they could be really good to kind of just dip in and out of quickly if, you know, Christmas Day is busy. So in Diary of a Christmas Elf, we are following Tog, who is an elf in Santa's workshop. In Secrets of a Christmas Elf, we are spending time with Holly, who is Santa Claus's daughter. And then in Adventures of a Christmas Elf, we kind of get perspectives from both of them. I know Ben's writing quite well, so I'm expecting these to have kind of a classical fairy tale feel to them, but also be really funny and entertaining. And I just love Santa's workshop as a setting. Like when it comes to Christmas films, like I love the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen, so I love that kind of like workshop setting. Staying on the kind of classical fairy tale theme with a modern twist, the final book I would like to read over the winter break is A Fairy Tale for Everyone. So I picked this one up at a Pride in Publishing event at Hachette that was absolutely brilliant. I met so many nice people there. I picked up lots of books, including this one, and I just thought this would be perfect reading for this winter break, you know, for some cozy reading. It's got, you know, fairy tales, it's got illustrations. I love a children's book at this time of year. And I also thought because they are short stories, again, it lends itself quite well to being able to read one and then go off and do something and then read another one. I'm told these are really funny, thoughtful retellings of kind of classic fairy stories. So like Cinderella, Snow White, Bambi, but based on some of the stuff it says in the back, based on the fact that there is a quote from Sir Ian McKellen on the front, and obviously I picked it up at a Pride in Publishing event, I think there are going to be kind of queer elements incorporated into these stories, which obviously I'm going to love. So that is it. They are all of the books that I'm planning on reading over the winter break. If you've read any of these books before, do leave me a comment down below and let me know what you've thought of them. Are there any of them that you are intrigued by? Or let me know what you are reading over the winter break. Is there anything you're particularly looking forward to? If you don't know what comment to leave, but you want to let me know that you are here, leave me the Christmas tree emoji, of course. I hope you're doing well. I hope Christmas is whatever you would like it to be. I know it can be a really difficult time for some people. It certainly is for me, so solidarity there. So whatever Christmas means to you, whether you would like me to wish you a happy Christmas or a peaceful Christmas, I hope the season is whatever you would like it to be. That is it for me today. I hope you're doing well, and I will speak to you in my next video.